Practice has gone okay for my car, you know, we're on the front row, in with a good chance. So hopefully we can do the business today, but it's unfortunate the guy's not going to be there to help me.
Surprise winner of the last Thruxton round, Dave Brodie, a driver without the big budget and big support of his rivals. A fact he's far from reluctant to emphasise.
Well, these turkeys, they're going to have to get up early in the morning if they want to take me and my team on, right? They turn up with their big transporters and their good-looking motorhomes. They prance around the paddock all day long in their overalls, right? But when it comes to get the business done, they're a bunch of wallies, apart from Andy.
Brodie's much improved performance had led to protests from other teams that he was running on illegal fuel. He claims his advantage is not octane, but experience.
26 years of driving saloon cars, right? There's only one person in this paddock that's ever been in front of me, and that's Andy Rouse. The rest of them are a bunch of Group N drivers, right? And why should they be in front of me? They never did it before. Why should they do it now? I mean, Guy has had more spins and rock around the clock. Frank Sittner's had more rolls than Joe's Chook Corner Cafe, right? And what sort of an example is that to set the public? I think it's diabolical. I've never seen driving, 26 years driving saloon cars, I've never seen such pitiful, ridiculous driving like it in my life. It's no good to us doing anything other than winning. I don't mind a close second or a close third, but we come here to win. That's our business.
So things more than a little fired up for this fifth round of the championship, and Dave Brodie is true to his word, having claimed pole position from the driver he admires. In fact, having qualified almost a second faster than Andy Rouse. Second row, Rob Gravitt, winner of the opening round, and Tim Harvey in the Labatt Sierra. Guy Edwards had qualified on the third row but had no chance of making the race after his practice crash, but Mike Newman, he'd qualified well. Carl Jones and Graham Good make up the fourth row. Rows 5 and 6, and behind them, James Weaver in the BMW M3 had qualified just ahead of his Class B rival Frank Sittner. John Cleland, the leading qualifier from Class C, Phil Dowsett in Class D. Round 5 of the Esso British Touring Car Championship. Once again, we hear from Murray Walker.
As Dave Brodie in the white Sierra and Andy Rouse on the right follow the pace car round for the rolling start. It's really hot at Thruxton. 17 laps at over 100 miles an hour. They're going to be tough on the tyres. Brodie won last time and Rouse the time before, but no one's won twice this year, as off they go. Round 5 is go, and it's Andy Rouse leading. Brodie going through though. Brodie going through on the inside at the right-hander at Allard. Rouse hits the grass and it's Brodie. But Brodie weaving is really putting the power down. Into the right-hander at Campbell, a left-hander at Cobb. Now up to Seagrave. Brodie, Rouse, Gravitt and Harvey. And now we're in car with Frank Sittner in the BMW. David Pinkney goes off. David Pinkney in the Ford Sierra Cosworth goes off. Comes from Harpenden, and he's really got a struggle on his hands now. He's got to get back into the race. Meantime, up at the front, there are 6 Sierra Cosworths. Dave Brodie, Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, Jones and Mike Newman. And the winners of the first 3 rounds are first, second and third. And Rob Gravitt in the red and white Sierra is challenging Andy Rouse for second place. Closing right up on him. A long drag down to the chicane at over 150 miles an hour. Brodie in front, Rouse closes up into the chicane. It's Brodie, then Rouse, Gravitt, Harvey, Jones, Newman, absolutely together. Over the line. And look for Carl Jones there with the yellow headlamps. It's an amazing drive. In this morning's qualifying, he was harpooned by Guy Edwards, and he's had to rebuild the car. There he is. Up to the complex. Brodie leading by 1.5 seconds. Gravitt is challenging Rouse for second place. Harvey, then Jones, Newman, and Jerry Marney in the white Sierra in 7th place. Now up to Seagrave, and Gravitt is attacking again. Village, and Gravitt is passing Rouse up into second place. Gravitt goes through, Rouse goes down to third position, and there is Gravitt ahead of Andy Rouse. Now, is he going to pull away? The cartel car has got terrific speed, but Rouse is fighting back. He's closing up on the rear wheel of Gravitt 4th Sierra Cosworth. He's responding down to the chicane. Brodie leads, Gravitt second, Rouse third, and Jones and Newman. Look, they are ahead of Harvey. End of the lap. Over the line. And Brodie leads, Gravitt second, Rouse third, then it's Jones, Newman, Harvey. box into second gear for Campbell Corner. And now Cobb, the left-hander. Out of Cobb, the leaders go through. And there is Graham Good and Lawrence Bristow, the Donington winner, with Mike Smith right behind him, and Mike Smith is going through. Smith goes through to take 9th position from Lawrence Bristow. And here is Bristow. Mike Smith on the right. Nice one, Mike. He's through and up a place. So Mike Smith on his way, chasing his teammate Rob Gravitt, and Ian Forrest's BMW M3 is out of the race onto the grass. Down to the chicane, Rob Gravitt in second place. Ahead of him is Brodie, and he's catching Brodie. Rouse is third, Jones is fourth, Newman, Harvey and Marnie, 5th, 6th and 7th. Now, last year, Andy Rouse was in a class of his own, but here today at Thruxton, he is struggling. Up to Allard, and Mike Smith is charging. He's obviously got his car set up better. He's passed Good into 8th position, and Bristow is going for it, and off! Off goes Lawrence Bristow. Let's have a look at it again. This is what Bristow saw. Mike Smith ahead, out of the chicane, in front of Lawrence Bristow. Smith going past Graham Good on the right. And here we go. We're going to take Graham Good, clip in, and we hit. Collision, contact, and away. And Bristow sees drivers go through to pass him. He's on his way again, but he's lost a lot of places. Down to the chicane. Jones in 4th position. Newman in 5th place and closing up. Over the line, Rouse, Jones, Newman, Harvey. And I suspect for the Tim Harvey there, number 7 is conserving his tyres. He's taking it easy. But there's a terrific battle for 4th position. Jones, Newman and Harvey. Number 3, Mike Newman there in 5th position, carrying Carl Jones. Tim Harvey right behind him. And Newman goes through. Newman takes Jones and he's been clipped. Part of the body trim is trailing and it's fouling the tyre. And that is very bad news. 3 abreast into Seagrave. Harvey on the left, Jones on the right, Newman in the middle. Harvey goes past both of them to take 4th position. And Sittner comes into the pits. The British touring car champion of 1988 was 15th in to change tyres. Maybe the wrong compound, but in comes Lawrence Bristow too. He's going to change tyres because he probably damaged them in the spin he had. So it's all action, the pneumatic hammers are going, the wheels go on, Lawrence Bristow sits impassively there. Bit of delay on the rear wheel, still got to tighten up the front nut. That's it, down go the jacks, out goes Bristow. And we're with Sittner now, but they've both got to wait until the lights change to green so that they know the track is clear. Bristow blasts out. And he rejoins the track just behind Mike Newman, number 3, who is in 5th position. With that trim still trailing, that's one way to distract the opposition and save a bit of weight. Still dragging it. Hard right, and off it comes. Jones misses it. On his way goes Mike Newman. No problem now, and that'll fit my Sierra nicely. Thanks, Mike. Is out of the race, and what an awful season poor Jerry's having. It looks as though he's got the same problem he had at Donington. No, that's smoke rather than steam. Jerry out to lift the bonnet to let the fire marshals get at it. There's a red-hot turbo down there, and it's not doing our in-car camera much good either. Smoke billowing all over the place. Jerry Marnie very definitely out of the race. Another bad one for him. Battle for the lead in the 1600cc D class. Dowsett and Crudgington bouncing over the curves. In car with Phil Dowsett. Crudgington leads. And these amazing little 1600cc Toyota Corollas develop over 200 horsepower. And it's a battle not only for the lead here, but the lead in Class D of the championship between Crudgington, who's leading in the blue and white Toyota at the moment, and Phil Dowsett, who's actually leading the class championship just behind him in car number 70. look at this action ahead of them. Sean Walker Sierra is 10th. Number 33, Frank Sidner, has been lapped, but his teammate James Weaver is behind him, and he is in 11th place, and he needs to get past Sidner to get to grips with Sean Walker. So it's Walker, Sidner, Weaver. Now we're with Sidner. Pass on the right, James. Pass on the right, James! And James does it. Looking good now for his 3rd Class B win this year. And he even gives Frank Sidner a cheery little wave, being very polite to each other today. And that is John Cleland leading the 2-litre class in his Vauxhall Astra. But up at the front, there is Dave Brodie, still leading, 4 seconds ahead of number 21, Rob Gravitt, both of them in Ford Sierra Cosworths, as the battle in the D class between Crudgington and Dowsett continues. Now, Dave Brodie is coming up to catch these two, and it's not going to be very long before it happens. Dave, there he is in the background, has been racing 26 years. He's confident, he's flamboyant, he's a real racer. There he is, and he is winning. Dave really wringing the last ounce of horsepower out of the Cosworth engine. He's got a comfortable lead. He's going to win. He's got the car set up absolutely beautifully. Crudgington and Dowsett coming down together towards the chicane. And Dowsett is starting to challenge. He's going to try and take... Yes, here we are, in car with Dowsett. He's going through on the inside. He goes through on the inside. He takes Crudgington. That is Brodie coming up behind both of them. And behind Brodie, there is Gravitt. Over the line now. Brodie takes both of them. And now it's Rob Gravitt's turn. Up to Campbell, the right-hander, after they have cleared the left sweep that they're into now. Brodie approaches Campbell. Dowsett and Crudgington behind him, and Rob Gravitt is about to take them both. But Crudgington is right up alongside Dowsett. He's going to take the lead, and Gravitt is going to take them both right on the apex, and they hit each other. Dowsett, oh my goodness! A full 360-degree spin, the wheel is off, the grass has caught fire. But Rob Gravitt looked at Dowsett out, up onto the bank. Gravitt is out of the car. Miraculously, they are both perfectly okay as the fire marshals slip on the grass. They're going to have to jump down onto the bank to set about the fire. They've got it out already. Well done indeed. That's a very nasty accident. But amazingly, Phil Dowsett looks perfectly all right. So now let's have a look at it from his point of view again. There is Dave Brodie in front. We're turning into the right-hander, and there is Gravitt. Slam bang into the tyre wall, and Dowsett does the same thing. Thank heavens for that protection. And now Crudgington leads Class D. Rouse is right up behind him, number 1, second in the race. And then it's Harvey and Newman really close to each other, and this is Mike Smith on the right trying to lap Lawrence Bristow, and they've touched each other at the chicane, and Bristow is off, nearly hits the pit lane Armco. Miraculous recovery. And there on the left is Mike Smith. Away he goes. And Mike Smith has got the momentum. He's pulling away. But Lawrence Bristow may have been lapped, but he isn't giving in. And watch that turbo gauge needle, the big white one. He's definitely reeling Mike Smith in again. And that is the BARC rescue unit. Now, the British Automobile Racing Club runs Thruxton, and everything you need for a rescue is in that vehicle. Medical equipment, cutters, resuscitation gear, and they're deliberately leaving the vehicle there to protect them while they rush up to see if Gravitt's okay. Well, he is okay. He's out of the car, actually. And there he is. But he must have a very sore neck. Now, let's have a replay. On the left is Crudgington, then it's Dowsett. On the right is Gravitt. Gravitt turns in. There is contact. Straight onto the grass, into the tyre wall. Dowsett does the same thing. 360-degree spin from Rob Gravitt. The wheel is off, the back is up, and the grass catches fire. That could have been very, very nasty indeed. And Dave Brodie Harvey. There he is. And that is Andy Rouse going through. He's gone from third to first. And Tim Harvey is really close to him. There is Rouse, and there is Harvey. Now, I wonder what's wrong with Brodie. There's the answer. Look at the left rear wheel. There is no tyre there. He's driving on the rim. Dave Brodie trying to get back. Now, there is Rouse leading. Harvey in second place, right behind him. Mike Newman in third position, number 3. And Carl Jones goes past Brodie up into fourth position. What a fantastic development as Dave Brodie rattles into the pit lane on his rear rim. Lap 14, there's 3 laps to go after this, and Rouse and Harvey with their headlights blazing to warn people that they're coming through. Can Tim Harvey catch and pass Andy Rouse? There is Rouse, there is Harvey. It's getting closer and closer all the time. That is Dave Brodie's wheel. Look at it. Almost finished now. Just tighten up the nut and Dave Brodie can get away, but he's really out of the running altogether. And a Goodwood on the way to Village Corner at 130 miles an hour. Past the last of the tail-enders goes Tim Harvey, and now on the fastest part of the course, he can attack Andy Rouse and go for the lead. Round Brooklands, the left-hander, down to the chicane, and at the chicane. There is less than a second between the first and second places, Andy Rouse and Tim Harvey. Much less than a second now. Out of the chicane, up towards Allard. Rouse goes over the line. Harvey goes up, and the checkered flag is out. They're stopping the race. Now, that must be because of the accident further ahead. They're all slowing down. So lucky for Andy Rouse. He wins, the first man to win twice this season. Tim Harvey second, just as he looked likely to win, and Mike Newman third. And no wonder they stopped it. That's a real fire hazard. So, overall victory for Andy Rouse with Tim Harvey in second place, Mike Newman third, Carl Jones in fourth position, Mike Smith fifth, and Sean Walker sixth after a really exciting race.
And a race that had a finish that came as a surprise to many and a relief to Andy Rouse. Luck had been on his side at last.
Was the race shortened?
Yeah, the Gravic had a bad one out.
Yeah, I know,
back,
yes.
so.
Well, that wasn't bad, was it?
The luck has changed.
I think so, yeah, for the better, unfortunately. Well, that was hard going.
Was the checkered flag a complete surprise? What were things like down at the complex?
Well, the accident occurred about 7 laps before the end, and I thought the situation had been stabilised, but apparently, talking to the clerk of the course, there was fuel spilling out of one of the cars and running across the track, and that's what prompted the decision. But I thought things were stabilised, so I was watching the laps to go sign and planning the rest of the race, but there you are.
So you can't feel aggrieved at the decision, but unlucky nevertheless?
No, on safety grounds it was the right thing to do, but I'm sure my turn will come.
Life in Class B was quiet for once for James Weaver, who took class victory due to Sittner's puncture problems. Sittner clearly in tyre trouble, already behind John Llewellyn's BMW, but clearly a pit stop is inevitable. So Weaver unchallenged for class victory and the fastest lap, and for once no recriminations in the BMW camp.
Everyone talks about what the atmosphere must be like within the team. Now, what in fact is it like?
Well, normally when we get back to the motorhome, it's absolutely atrocious, and the conversations tend to be fairly short and sharp, but by the time we've had a cup of tea and sat down and thought about it, Frank and I do get on very well together, and there's no animosity between us, and we walk away from it, we do it because we enjoy it. I think we've got it under control now.
Class C, from which Vauxhall and John Cleland are mounting such a strong challenge for the championship, and they're doing it with team harmony and a very fine car in the 16-valve Vauxhall Astra GTE. Cleland leads and sees Louise large in his mirrors, but the challenge is clearly not that intense. In fact, Louise had done a fine job in fending off the attentions of John Morris's Volkswagen Golf and enabling Cleland to open a healthy lead in the championship. Her adaptation from rallying to racing has been impressive, and with the promise of a full race-spec 16-valve Astra for the Grand Prix meeting, she might well be tempted to mount a serious challenge. Class D won by Tony Crudgington after the incident that decided Class A as well. Here's Phil Dowsett's version.
Rob Rabbit lapped us, come up to lap us at the complex, and Tony had ran wide. I was alongside Tony, and you can't get 3 cars through there no matter how hard you try. And Rob turned in and unfortunately took me with him. You know, that happens. Rob was in a hurry, he's lying second. We're having our fight, and that's always going to be a potential problem.
In the championship, Phil Dowsett loses ground as John Cleland builds a 7-point lead over James Weaver. Rob Grabbett remains the leading runner from Class A. The footnote, though, that's provided by Dave Brodie, who was discovered to have used fuel of illegally high octane during his Thruxton victory 2 rounds ago. He loses the points from that and receives a maximum points penalty. I understand that he'll appeal.